Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of fascinating sources and distill the absolute essence for you. Today, we're diving into a topic that touches every single one of us: time management. We all get the same 24 hours in a day, that fixed pool of non-renewable time. How we draw from it and what we do with it, well, that's truly crucial. Now, we've all encountered the classic advice, right? Detailed schedules, the urgent important matrix, maybe the Pomodoro technique. These tools certainly have their place, but often for daily life, they feel a bit like trying to force a square peg into a round hole. They can be rigid, hard to sustain, and sometimes just don't quite capture the fluid reality of how we work and live.
That's a perfect way to put it. Yeah. What's truly distinct about the book we're exploring today, The Most Important 2 Hours Every Day, is that it doesn't just rehash those external time management hacks, it shifts the entire paradigm, focusing instead on what it calls body efficiency.
Body efficiency. Okay.
Yeah, this concept is about optimizing your innate physiological and psychological states, your internal resources, to maximize output with less effort, allowing you to achieve a highly efficient work state whenever you need it. The title isn't really about finding 2 specific hours on a clock, but about activating that peak performance for any duration, whether it's 30 minutes, 2 hours, or maybe even more. It's about leveraging your inner clock, your inner state.
Right. So if the key isn't external management, but internal mastery, what are these strategies then? How do we get our bodies and minds into that sweet spot for productivity? How do we access and cultivate this body efficiency? Let's unpack this. Let's begin with a concept that seems like it radically shifts how we approach the space between tasks. Pause points. Many of us just barrel from one thing to the next, but how does the book redefine taking a break with this concept? What's the critical distinction here?
Well, it's far more nuanced than just a simple break. A pause point is a deliberate, conscious moment you create after completing one task and before starting the next. It's about interrupting the default inertia that carries us through our day. Think about it. How many times do we finish an email, then immediately open another, or stand up from our desk only to mindlessly scroll on our phone?
Guilty. Yeah.
We all are sometimes. The author highlights how we often run on autopilot, moving from one life program to another, which are essentially our ingrained unconscious routines, like waking up, getting dressed, commuting, then a string of work tasks. By the end of the day, you're exhausted, right? And those important non-urgent things you truly wanted to do, like connecting with friends, developing skills, or learning new things, they often get neglected because you're constantly just reacting.
Okay, this next point offers a particularly compelling insight into the difference between, say, an average performer and a master. The book uses the example of snooker player Ronnie O'Sullivan. He'll get down to line up a shot, but if it doesn't feel absolutely right, if he doesn't feel in full control, he'll stand up, adjust his posture, take a moment, and only then retake the shot. An average player might just rush it, hoping for the best. It really echoes the idea of deliberate practice, pausing after an action, reflecting on what went well, what didn't, and how to consciously improve the next time. It's about conscious control, not just momentum.
Precisely. And this deliberate pausing isn't just for small tasks. It applies to bigger life decisions, too. Consider job searching. Many people, after quitting one job, immediately leap into searching for another, often ending up in a very similar role that doesn't truly fulfill them.
Right, rinse and repeat.
Exactly. The book suggests that experienced, highly effective individuals might instead take a full 3 months to pause, to reflect deeply on their next steps, what skills they truly want to develop, and what truly aligns with their deepest interests and talents. What might seem like wasted time is actually a massive strategic gain, preventing another cycle of dissatisfaction and job hopping. The true power of the pause isn't just a break. It's a strategic moment to sort of reprogram your next action, transforming reactive habits into deliberate choices that compound over time, saving you far more time in the long run.
Okay, building on that idea of conscious control, the book next dives into another crucial internal resource: our mental energy. We're all very aware that our physical energy fluctuates, climb 20 flights of stairs, you're obviously wiped. But the book suggests our brain power also fluctuates, just less obviously.
It absolutely does. While physical exertion gives undeniable cues like sweat and a racing heart, mental energy depletion is far subtler. It manifests as a feeling of dullness, zoning out, wandering attention, or an inability to think deeply or creatively.
Yeah, the afternoon slump.
Exactly. Because these signs aren't as clear, most people simply assume their mental agility is constant throughout the day. But it's definitely not. Your cognitive peaks fluctuate with the time of day for most. The sharpest focus occurs in the morning, offering about 2 to 2.5 hours of prime cognitive performance. Then there's often a dip around lunchtime as blood flows to the stomach for digestion. Interestingly, a short 10-20-minute power nap can often restore that mental vitality for another 2.5 hours, effectively giving you a second prime time.
That's a powerful insight, especially when we consider that mental energy also fluctuates based on the difficulty of the task. Like if you just finished a demanding creative project, immediately jumping into memorizing complex legal text will feel significantly harder. It's almost like a mental muscle fatigue.
That's a great analogy. And this is where strategy becomes key. For listeners, this means aligning the difficulty of your work with your brain's natural state. Tackle your most challenging brain-intensive tasks when your energy is highest, typically in the morning. Then shift to simpler, more repetitive tasks later in the day. A common trap many of us fall into is starting our day by checking social media, reading news, or answering
Oh
emails.
yeah, the easy stuff first.
Right. But while seemingly benign, these activities silently drain a significant portion of your prime mental energy before you even begin your core work. The book shares a compelling example of an author's friend who, before a major high-stakes meeting, would consciously minimize all other decisions the day before. Things like pre-selecting clothes, planning breakfast, avoiding phone use solely to preserve mental energy for mentally rehearsing the meeting content.
Wow, that's dedication.
It is, but it allowed him to show up confident, energetic, and perform at his absolute best. So don't just manage your time, manage your brain's unique energy cycles. Front load your peak performance with critical tasks, safeguarding your prime mental hours from low leverage distractions like email. These subtle energy management tactics are really key to peak performance in critical moments.
Let's talk about attention next, because this one hits home for so many of us, myself included. We often internalize our inability to focus for long periods, blaming ourselves for getting distracted or feeling like we're somehow broken.
Oh, that's such a common misconception, and the author beautifully reframes it. Short attention spans aren't a defect, they're actually an evolutionary trait, a self-protection mechanism. Think of our ancestors in the wild. If they couldn't quickly pick up on every subtle sound or movement, well, they wouldn't have survived.
Okay, that makes sense. Survival mode.
Exactly. So a wandering mind is perfectly normal. It's how we're wired for survival. The key then isn't to fight it, but how you respond to it. And the book offers two fascinating, maybe even counterintuitive ways to manage this natural tendency to wander.
All right, so for you, the listener, the first method is to proactively allow your mind to wander. After about 20 minutes of intense, focused work, consciously take a break to do something simple that doesn't require deep thought. Stand up, look out the window, tidy your desk, maybe listen to some music. The crucial point is not to switch to other work-related tasks like checking news or replying to emails. That's just multitasking, right? Not a genuine break, and it makes it much harder to get back into your original task. It's about truly disengaging your focused brain.
Exactly. And the second method takes this a step further. Observe your attention almost like a meditative practice. Instead of forcefully dragging your thoughts back to the task, you simply notice where they go. Now, this raises an important question. Why would you let your mind wander in the first place?
Yeah, seems counterproductive.
Right. But because that's often where true creativity comes from. When your mind is unfettered, seemingly unrelated thoughts can combine in novel ways to solve problems or spark new ideas. Think of figures like Einstein or Mozart, known for their incredible creative leaps, who are also often described as having seemingly scattered attention.
Huh. Interesting.
So your wandering mind isn't a bug, it's maybe a feature. You need to learn to harness its creative power by proactively scheduling deliberate breaks, allowing ideas to organically collide and spark breakthroughs. The ability to let your mind drift can actually be a source of profound, innovative breakthroughs if you learn to capture those sparks of inspiration that emerge from the mind's free play.
Okay, moving beyond these internal states, the book brings us to two pillars of well-being that are often overlooked in their specific impact on productivity: diet and exercise. We all know they're important for general health, sure, but the book suggests we often miss the subtle yet powerful ways they contribute to our peak performance.
That's absolutely right. For exercise, the problem isn't usually a lack of awareness, but often having overly high expectations. Many people think of intense, sweaty gym sessions as the only valid form of exercise. But for maintaining a clear mind and optimal work performance, the book emphasizes light exercise.
Light exercise, like what?
Things like brisk walking, cycling, or other moderate aerobic activities, these are enough to get your body feeling good and blood flowing without causing exhaustion, which can actually make your body resist future workouts. If your goal isn't specific, like muscle building or extreme weight loss, pushing too hard often leads to giving up entirely. Light, consistent exercise keeps your body in top condition without it competing with your brain for energy, which is crucial for high-efficiency cognitive work.
Okay, so for you, the listener, it's not about becoming a fitness fanatic, but about finding sustainable, gentle movement that supports your mental output. Makes sense.
Mhm.
And on the diet side, the brain primarily runs on glucose. So does that mean we should just load up on sugar, grab a candy bar?
Well, what's truly counterintuitive here is that the opposite is true for sustained performance. While direct sugar gives a quick burst of energy for maybe 15
George
minutes,
rush.
yeah, the rush, but it's inevitably followed by a sharp drop, the crash, leaving you sluggish, fatigued, and less productive. The key, according to the book, is to keep your blood glucose levels stable. This can be achieved in two main ways. First, by eating less but more frequently, aiming for maybe half-full meals multiple times a day to provide a steady supply. Second, by minimizing high carbohydrate foods like sugary desserts, refined bread, fries, that kind of thing, unless you're intentionally aiming for that very short temporary burst of focus.
Right.
The critical insight here lies in recognizing that these seemingly minor physiological adjustments, like maintaining stable blood sugar or engaging in light movement, accumulate over time. They create a significant and often overlooked competitive edge and sustained cognitive performance. You may not feel your brain get sharper right after a walk or duller immediately after a sugary meal, but the cumulative effect is profound.
It's the subtle details. Okay, finally, let's talk about our environment and how we can make it serve us. The book highlights two seemingly simple yet incredibly powerful factors: noise and light. We all know it's hard to concentrate in a noisy place, obviously, but is it just about loud sounds? Or is there a more insidious kind of noise at play?
It's not exactly about constant, continuous background noise like a humming fan or distant traffic. Your brain can often tune that out, you know? The true noise that disrupts focus and drains mental energy is intermittent, unexpected sounds.
Like a phone notification or someone dropping something.
Exactly. A sudden crane whistle, a colleague quietly chatting nearby, something dropping, a phone notification. Your attention is hardwired to react to novelty and potential threats, so these unpredictable sounds are incredibly distracting. What this means for you: if you're doing creative or deeply focused work, find a truly quiet place. Don't try to power through with willpower. It's pretty much a losing battle against your own biology. And avoiding noise before critical work can also help clear your brain's cache, allowing you to start fresh and focused.
This really shifts the paradigm on how we can approach focus, and I think it will resonate deeply with many of our listeners. And light. Does it simply matter if it's bright or dim, or is there more to it?
Oh, absolutely. Research shows that bright blue-white light, similar to a clear sky, significantly boosts vitality, logical analysis, and mental agility. If you struggle to wake up, try leaving your curtains open so the morning sunlight can rouse you naturally. You can even use blue-toned light bulbs or maybe a blue computer desktop background at your workspace to subtly encourage alertness.
Huh. Blue light for alertness. Okay, but this raises an important question. So does dim light have any use at all, or is it always bad for focus?
No, it does, but for a very different purpose. Dim light is actually beneficial for creativity. It creates a relaxed, uninhibited feeling, which can significantly enhance creative output. So for brainstorming, generating new ideas, or more imaginative tasks, consider adjusting the lighting to be softer or finding a more dimly lit corner. We can't always change our entire surroundings, of course, but these subtle, often overlooked adjustments to noise and light are incredibly powerful ways to optimize our workspace and enhance our focus.
So to recap our deep dive into the most important 2 hours every day, we've explored 5 powerful yet often overlooked strategies for boosting your body efficiency and ultimately your time management. We moved from those external time hacks to really internal self-mastery. We talked about the power of pause points to make conscious choices, managing your mental energy by aligning tasks with your brain's natural fluctuations.
Matching task to energy.
Right. Understanding your attention and even leveraging its tendency to wander for creativity, which is fascinating. Controlling your diet and exercise for subtle but crucial mental clarity, and finally, making your environment work for you by strategically managing noise and light.
Ultimately, I think the book's profound secret to time management isn't about frantically squeezing every second out of your day. I mean, that path only leads to burnout and exhaustion. Instead, it's about immersion. It's about fully respecting, deeply enjoying, and taking seriously whatever you're doing in that very moment, whether it's work, a conversation, or even just a simple pause. This approach isn't just about raw efficiency. It feels like it's steeped in a love for life and a positive, forward-looking outlook for the future, transforming how you engage with every minute.
That's a wonderful way to put it. So as you go about your day, think about this.
Yeah.
What small, often ignored detail in your daily routine could you adjust today to unlock a deeper sense of immersion and efficiency in your own life? We hope this deep dive helps you find those moments of clarity and peak performance. Thanks for joining us.